Hello to my YouTube collective. It's been a while. I've moved. I've gone through some major transformation, and I can tell that you are also going through some major transformation. This is a general collective reading. The first two cards are the dragon and the bat. At the bottom of the deck, we have the frog. Okay, so I want to talk to you about what's going on, because you are certainly releasing, and the energy that I am getting is one of some deep overthinking. Now, you may have hit a wall. You may feel like you've hit a wall. You may feel like you are kind of spinning out or like losing it a little bit. And that's an okay way to feel. This is a very comforting message that Spirit wants me to provide to you. I can't think of anything other than comforting words as we're starting out here, okay? So I want to point out, I shuffled the deck a number of times. The card at the bottom is the Sun, and then we have the King of Cups. So what you're working on creating at this time is an emotional balance, because you can see the bright future. You can see the good through the ego death that you're experiencing at this time, or the trenches that you're going through at this time, whatever that is. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's very clear to you, okay? And this has not been true in past chapters of your life. So this is a win in and of itself. Your perspective shift, your ability to hold on to that which is I guess fruitful and generative, as opposed to a little bit more melancholy and stuck, you know. So we have the Eight of Swords popping out as I'm saying that. And then we have Strength at the bottom of the deck. So you can acknowledge, you can see, this is similar to a lot of the messages I've been getting for the collective lately. You can see where things are. The words that are coming through are like archaic. Like it's old. It's not a new cycle for you. So you can identify that, and you feel confident in your vision, what you can see going on with you. You are still experiencing it, but what's making it different this time is that you kind of know what's going on. You're like, this ain't my first rodeo, dude. You know, like I can name the shadows. I can name the demons that are coming through right now. The Ace of Wands just came out with the Ace of Cups underneath, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Swords. That's a lot of opportunity, my dude. That's a lot of energy. That is a lot of energy that you are channeling, that you are acting as a channel for, okay? 3 aces, and it's all, you know, following the Eight of Swords, which is the victim mentality, right? The state of willing yourself into a place of stagnancy, right? But that's not really what's going on here. What's really going on here is that you're kind of sorting it out. The Queen of Swords coming out here. You're sorting it out. You're figuring it out, okay? And with the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, it's letting me know that you might seem guarded, right? It's not, but again, you know what you're doing this time, okay? Justice, the Hierophant, and the Fool, 3 major arcana cards following 3 aces. And what lies between the major arcana cards that are showing up and the aces that are showing up is 2 swords. And underneath, I just want to point this out, underneath the Fool is the 5 of Cups. So it's this melancholy that is stirring within you, that you can see, you can identify it. You are working to, oh man, I think that you are hyper aware is a word that I'm getting here. You are hyper aware of the victim mentality that you have held in the past. And that is exactly what you are shedding, right? That is exactly what you are shedding, is that victim mentality, that idea that you can't, that idea that you are stuck. Okay. And I'm hearing that it is extending, as far as like you're really like sowing this kind of growth into many areas of your life. This is, an awareness of the language that you use, an awareness of the thoughts that you are feeding, right? You are hyper aware of what you're bringing into the fold of your life, of what you're accepting. Okay, past life, yeah. Past life and meditate at the bottom of the deck. You're able to very calmly view what's going on with you. So then, okay, divine feminine and magic. So what I can see coming out of this collective and why this is starting out the way that it is because this kind of shedding that's taking place for some of you, I think that you know very, very well what's going on with you. Like all of you have a clear vision of what's going on in terms of like your mental health and the systems and frameworks that you are remodeling right now. But they're the two kind of collectives that I'm seeing. It's one road that splits into two, and then what they're showing me, it's a single road that splits into two, and then they diverge, and then they merge again. Okay, and like further down. So I am speaking to multiple collectives here, it seems, and the only difference between those two roads when they split is that some of you actively use your psychic vision. Some of you are probably readers and healers of your own, like just on your own. And so part of this message is that while some of you feel equipped, like you know what to do with what is happening, and you like within you, you know that you're rebuilding these frameworks, and why. Like you have a keen vision of the spiritual aspect of what's going on with you. Then there's another group here, this other road that you are in the process. Okay, so I'm getting a transmutation energy here. So you're in the process of leveling up. So with this other group, I think that you Spirit is saying that you need a little extra support in there's a confidence building aspect here. There's a trust building access. There's a trust building element to this that they're bringing forth, that you, I keep getting pulled to other decks, but they're not like being totally clear with me which one. You are capable of so, like, you know that you're capable of so much, sorry guys, you know that you're capable of so much, you know that you have all of these things happening within you, but maybe you don't have the language, right, of why, like maybe where it's going, or what is, maybe you just don't have the language. It feels kind of empty. Like it feels a little bit hollow. Like you don't know what to do with it, but you're trusting it. Does that make sense? Like you don't know what to do with the energy that you're experiencing, but you are trusting it regardless. Okay, fog. Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay. So the fog is on both roads. The fog exists in both collectives. Both of the folks that I'm talking to, you're both feeling kind of confused and dismayed is a word that I'm hearing, dismayed. But for some of you, that fog, it's a missing trust element. So we'll just leave that there. So this is an issue of trust for some of you. What can you do to trust the path a little bit more? How can you really heighten your confidence, strengthen your confidence while you're going down this road, right? This is a like walk by faith, not by sight kind of message. let's see what this is leading to. Let's see kind of if I can get any indication of like the alchemical process that's taking place. Oh wow, sun and autumn. Okay, with reddening at the bottom, sun and autumn. So this is all about yourself. This is all about, yeah, so it's that confidence portion. So again, while some of you guys have a lot more faith just because maybe you have, again, this isn't your first rodeo. I believe I said that. Maybe this isn't your first rodeo. Maybe you just have stronger trust in spirit than this other group, regardless of where you're at. All of you are being... If this is resonating, obviously, please don't make it fit. Please don't make it fit. All of you are being formed and morphed and created. So there are frameworks that you've used for so long, or that you've been trying to create that involve pressure on yourself. And where is that pressure coming from? It's coming from a place of needing to fix something or needing to harness something to be better, right? As if there was something wrong with you. There was never anything wrong with you. And so what you're doing now is you are shedding certain belief systems. So Justice, the Hierophant, and the Fool here. This is a balancing of what that Hierophant energy within you is bringing forth. It is not that anything is wrong with you. Justice and the Hierophant, this is bringing truth and balance, like divine truth, to your understanding of authority, your relationship with authority, and also, like, I mean, this is kind of the foundation of this is kind of what you give authority to, which is yourself, right? So all of you who this is resonating for, you're ultimately on the same path of building trust for yourself. You're building trust for yourself. So if you're lacking faith here, or of yourself, so if you're lacking faith here, I think that truly the only thing that you are missing is kind of, if you're lacking faith here, there's distractions, there's noise, because I'm getting a phone call that distracted me. There's noise. I'm hearing a misunderstanding. Things that don't concern you. Yeah. And so so of course, right? Why else would trouble arise, when we're on such a sacred path? You wouldn't be going through such a breakdown, right? Because this is the collective that I'm speaking to, this is an ego death that you're experiencing in some capacity. So you wouldn't be going through such a breakdown if it weren't important, right? And when important things are happening for us spiritually, distractions come through. And so you can attach different kind of language to this to, I guess, explain it or bring logic to it. Some folks will say, like, the devil, the devil's gonna try to get you before something wonderful comes in, right? Devil's gonna show up to keep you from it, right? Or from a more neurological perspective, then we can look at the existence of old thought patterns that need you to feed them, right? It doesn't matter what language you choose to use. What's happening is that there are distractions that are manifesting outside of you, and some of you are giving weight to these distractions and others of you are not, right? And this can come in the form of friends, discourse among friends. This can come in the form of phone calls while you're in the middle of some really potent shadow work. This can come in the form of really distracting noises happening in your home, disruptions, right? The ways that or it can come in the form of, sitting with yourself in silence and then getting carried away with your thoughts that ultimately are not in service to your path, right? And the point is to say that all of these distractions, you're going to have to pick and choose what is worth your time at this moment, because as you are harnessing there's something about like regality coming through here. As you are fine-tuning yourself and going through what is ultimately a process of individuation, right? It's very on the nose for what we're experiencing if we're looking through an astrological lens. You're right on the mark, okay? In building that, in building that self, right? In strengthening the self, that's a really important and sacred process, right? There are going to be things that come up. So you get to pick and choose. This is a use of your sovereignty. This is your regality. You get to pick and choose what is worth your time, what is worth your energy, right? So there is an issue of discernment that comes up here. There is, or a need for discernment, which it would be hard to really use any discernment if you are lacking confidence. Yes? How can this collective build confidence? What do they need to know to help with that? I'm hearing something about controlling. So we have the cards that flew out are Mystical Sister and Sulfur. So there are spiritual influences in your life that are being reworked. Okay, and Raven's Head, yeah. So some of you guys are really in taking in. Yeah, okay. So some of you guys are really in the process of filtering out what is not really aligned with you in terms of probably spiritual influences. This is bringing me back to the Hierophant card. This is a process of filtration. This is, again, the process of what is your authority and what are you trusting? Okay. Are you placing your power outside of yourself ultimately? In order to build that confidence, we do have to practice the trust of our own intuition, right? So if you are feeling that something is off, your discernment comes in trusting that something is off, and then asking yourself, using your personal authority, not seeking guidance elsewhere, to find the correct course of action, right? So we're looking at, this is a really deep process of individuation. I feel like a lot of you guys are readers or healers or mothers, parents, right? You've got to be like some kind of creator, leader, space holder, something like this, because as things are, as things are being shed from your person, right? From your character, from your energy field, you are kind of it's like you're being pried out of a sticky situation. It's like you are, how do I describe what I'm seeing here? It's like you're looking at a mess, but there's one little nugget of gold in that mess, right? Or it's like a needle in a haystack, but that doesn't quite do it. It's like, what I'm seeing is like, okay, so if you can imagine like slime and you lost a piece of gold or like a coin or something that you, like a diamond, right? In that slime, you have to sort through all, like you have to really get in there through the stickiness and get that diamond out. And then when you get it out, you have to clean it off, right? Whatever it is. So, this for you is kind of sorting out what influences are worth listening to and which ones are kind of rotten, right? And you have to refer back to the self for that. And you may find that the influences that you've gathered, the voices that you've been listening to, that none of them really resonate anymore, right? As you're shedding a skin, things shift. And why are you shedding this skin, right? The Raven's Head at the bottom of the deck is indicating that you have a purpose. You have a purpose, you have a goal, and so you may not, again, there are two separate groups here. Some are really needing a boost of confidence and a boost of faith, and others are fully trusting of the process, regardless of which group you're in. You have a purpose and you may have a vision, right? Both groups that I'm speaking to know that they have a purpose, right? Whether or not you articulated it, you can feel it in your body. Some of you guys know what that purpose is, and you are creating the vision. You are, you have the framework. The other folks that I'm talking to, you may not know what that purpose is, but you're like, I can't, I'm getting this sense of like, if I don't do whatever it is that you're doing, right? If I don't go through this healing process, then I'm going to lose myself, and I don't want to circle back, right? So you're just trudging through with conviction because there's a sense that you have to, right? It's like you may not understand fully, but you know that you have to do this work. For whatever reason, you know that you have to do it, and it feels very critical, right? Yes, so the Drowned King. This is that ego death. And then at the bottom here, we have sparks of light. That is the kind of coming out of the ego death. That is the, yes. And Venus with Mercury at the bottom. This is the creation process. So you're starting to catch little bits of inspiration. If you hang tight, Spirit is showing me a road. Okay, wow. Spirit is showing me that the roads are converging again, and then going forth, there is a huge, how do I even describe? Okay, so it's like a sunset, but it's like a sunset that was kept in a container, and it's like bursting out of the container, and it's right on the horizon. So this is a message for anyone who, going through this ego death, regardless of if you feel lost or confused, regardless of how trusting you are, you're in a creation space. It's like you're in an incubator, right? And so this kind of just feels like a matter of time, It kind of just feels like a matter of time. There's one more message that wants to come through. This is from the Poesis deck. This is just a matter of time. And like gestation, right? Incubation, gestation. Okay, union and chaos. Meeting parts of yourself. Loving parts of yourself. Loving parts of yourself. You can't trust yourself and give yourself the authority that you've given to anyone else if you don't love yourself, right? Choice, and there's that road. Right? Both going through the cave, both going through the heart space, both going through the underworld, right? Listen and noise. Oh, listen to the noise. Yeah, your subconscious is trying to talk to you, Yes, mind. Your subconscious is trying to talk to you, and you can pick and choose what you take, but you have to love and honor all of those parts. You have to love and honor all of those parts because it's all you. Right? And this is the key. That anything that comes up in this time, as you're moving through these depths, as you're experiencing this ego death, that everything that comes up in this space is worthy of love and honoring. We have to revere it, right? We have to hold it in sacred reverence because you understand that it is all what makes up you, right? I feel the need to tell you that you're doing something really great, and that prosperity starts in the mind. There is no need to kind of sweat the small stuff right now. There is a lot of illusion around need. How much of that is rooted in you feeling or subscribing to a belief that says that you're not doing good enough, right? How much of that is based in the idea that you accepted at some point that you need to do better because you're not good enough, right? You're going through a process of remembrance, remembering who you are, remembering that you are truth, right? Remembering that you are love, so that you can open up and provide whatever it is that you are ready to provide here, right? Maybe you don't feel ready, but it's just a passing experience, okay? You're in a very fertile place, so if you can be creative in any way, that would be a great option right now. That would be a great exercise, any kind of creativity. For some of you, it might feel fumbly, but that's okay. Nobody's watching. Nobody's judging you. Okay? And that's it. Good job, you guys.